been created in partnership with LloydsPharmacy. Now, my name is Rhiannon Lambert and I'm a registered nutritionist, author and podcast host working with Lloyds to help you demystify the confusion and the misinformation online that surrounds protein. I will be debunking 5 common myths, giving you the tips that you need to make sure you're getting enough and also what to do if you're a plant-based eater. Now, protein is incredibly important. We can't get enough from our body's own stores. So we have to consume it in our diet every single day. It plays a role with our muscles, our bones. In fact, there are thousands of different types of protein within our body, and that's because it has such a crucial role in our structure, our very being, our skin, our nails and our hair. So scientists all agree that we have different requirements based on our age, our physical activity levels, are very unique requirements really, but in the UK as a general guideline we say around 0.75 grams per kilogram of body weight is a good estimate, but this can change depending on, of course, if you're working out a lot. And in fact, one of the common myths that I tend to see surrounding protein is the fact that it keeps you fuller for longer. Now, it's an interesting one because there are links with research to satiety, but we do know that it's the overall meal with the carbohydrates, the fibre and the protein combined that can help you feel fuller. Now, another common myth that we see to do with protein is often the fact that if you go to the gym, you have to knock back a shake or have an increased amount of protein. This quite simply is not true. There is a difference depending on the type of workout you're doing. So if you're lifting a lot of weights or perhaps you're a professional athlete, then you definitely do need to increase your requirements. But for most of us, perhaps that are going to the odd yoga class or you're doing a half-an-hour gym session, your requirements will retain roughly the same. But if you want to increase, aim for around 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. I'd say that's probably a good amount. And if you're an athlete, you're looking to increase that again to around 1.5 to 2 kilograms. So it's a subtle difference, but it definitely will make a difference in retaining muscle mass and helping it grow. Of course, when we get older, we do need to also think about how much protein we're getting because our body becomes less efficient to really utilize that and synthesize that every single day. So even up to 50% more protein as we age is probably a good recommended guide to go by. And a big myth that I can't wait to bust is the timing of it. And should you eat protein before you exercise or after exercise? Whereas the actual reality for most of us or your normal gym goer or someone that's very active is that protein synthesis happens across the course of the day. So it's not going to miraculously boost your workout or repair if you have it half an hour before or half an hour after. However, there's some research that getting it in within an hour to 2 hour window post-workout could be beneficial, depending again if you're an athlete or the type of workouts you're doing in the gym. Another myth has to be that chicken's probably the ultimate halo of protein sources and that only gym goers need to be really focusing on perhaps getting some extra shakes and things into their diet, but that's just simply not true. There are wonderful sources of lean protein that have the same amount of protein in a portion, such as lean white fish. Chicken is lower in saturated fat, but so is white fish. Tofu is another option for people that do not eat animal produce, and the things that contain a little bit more saturated fat that you want to be careful with are things like dairy as a source of protein and red meat. If you don't consume meat, there's often this big misconception and another myth that says, well, plant-based eaters can't possibly get enough protein in their diets, but the answer is they can. It's actually more accessible, it can be more cost-effective and cheaper as well. And there's a link between the fibre in plant-based products and your gut health, and again, weight maintenance and other areas such as heart health. So the main things that you can look out for are obviously meat replacement items. Do be wary, some can be higher in salt, but ultimately things like tofu, I'd say, are wonderful alternatives. Tempeh, of course, you can get plant-based yogurts now that are higher in protein if they're soy-based. Corn, which is made from fermented mushrooms, mycoprotein, is also a wonderful source that's low in saturated fat. You just need to replace the iron that you'd normally get in red meat if you're switching it to corn produce. But don't forget your cans of your beans and your pulses, because this is cheaper than buying your animal-based produce, and it can also give you a wide variety. Of course, if you feel you are struggling, there are options out there for you, such as protein supplements and shakes, and at LloydsPharmacy there's a whole array of vegan options to suit everybody's dietary requirements. Now, if you don't get enough protein in your diet, it is important to make sure that you strive to do so and get more, because it can lead to a loss in muscle mass, which can also impact your metabolism. And long term, if you're not getting enough of this major macronutrient, which is so important, it can lead to more severe concerns such as anemia. Now, there's lots of ways that you can get this in, but a big myth is that some diet that's high in protein is the ultimate answer to weight loss for all and health, whereas actually some people thrive off high protein diets and others do not. Everybody is unique, so you need to find the amount that works for you and stick with that average government guideline that I gave you earlier on in the video of around 0.75 grams per kilogram of body weight. And if you want a rough calculation, think 1 gram per kilogram of what you weigh at the moment. So have a look at that as a rough guide. If you would like more content like this from myself or the other experts at LloydsPharmacy, please visit LloydsPharmacy.com, or you can visit their social channels at LloydsPharmacy to get more information and look out for more expert content to come.